Hey guys, Scrubber Ducky here, and before this video starts, I just want to say sorry I haven't made a video in a while, but reasoning for that is I just really haven't had anything relevant to talk about with the franchise lately, except for the Saw 10's coming, and it's in the works right now with being written. The script has already finished for what I've seen, and yeah, so let's just get right into the video. And this video today is going to be about the connection between Jigsaw and Spiral and the future for the franchise and where this could lead to with William Shank or William Emerson and Logan Nelson. So first things first, with the connection between Logan and William is Billy the Puppet, which there was a deleted scene in Spiral with Billy the Puppet inside the soap factory, which I think that they maybe have deleted it maybe because they didn't want to kind of spoil too much of what's happening with the franchise, of what could happen with the franchise, or maybe it just didn't make sense. But honestly, I didn't think it's gonna do a thing where it's not gonna make sense because I believe Josh and Pete Goldfinger know what they're doing with this franchise, and I think they have really good possibilities to bring to the franchise. But as you can see with the puppet, it was the one from, you can see it's the one from Jigsaw. Now this isn't just normal Billy the Puppet, but this is the one from Jigsaw with the lit up eyes. You can see that the eyes are off. The red lights are off with the eyes, but you can see it is the same exact puppet from Jigsaw. Now the reason you can tell is if you look the difference between you can tell which is painted on and which one is actually LED inside. So that is the first one that connects Logan and William. The second thing that connects William and Logan is the picture of Edgar Munson's slit throat on the police computer. Now, we've had this photo for a while now. We've had it online since 2019, I believe, before the whole COVID thing, broke out in America. Very unfortunate, but it was before all of this shit happened. But you could see it was a picture of Edgar Munson's throat that was slit on a police computer inside of the precinct where Zeke Banks is. And in a recent photo that got released, you can see while they were filming, you can see the screen with Edgar Munson's slit throat on there. Now, here's what I believe: Jigsaw definitely takes place before Spiral, because there's a lot of evidence pointing between that, and it just wouldn't make sense if Spiral took place before Jigsaw. Because if you heard in the scene with Fitch and Zeke, where Fitch, and Zeke are talking about yeah, but if it's another copycat, it's gonna be a shit show. Now that points to Jigsaw, where it's a copycat killer, or I wouldn't say Logan was technically a copycat killer since he was he did know John Kramer himself, so I wouldn't necessarily say he was a copycat killer. However, William, on the other hand, is technically the copycat killer because he has no connection to John Kramer. However, there was a scene that never happened with that John Kramer was the one that gave William Shank the pig puppet that he uses in Spiral. And I guess I'm pretty sure it was like that John Kramer, lived nearby, which I'm a little glad they didn't do the scene because it wouldn't have made any sense because, how would he live there if he already had that house in Jigsaw? Or, if they wanted to do the scene still, they could do it where, it's when John Kramer is, starting, to do the traps everywhere around the city. But, he has different different locations throughout the city to live at. And, he hears the gunfire after Charlie Emerson gets, shot down by Pete Dunleavy. Now, I believe there is definitely a connection between Logan and William. I see it. I see it that it could happen. And I get asked a lot about Mark Hoffman and Dr. Gordon. Now, here's the thing. They're not erasing anything from the past. It all takes place. It all still happens. It's all still in that exact, storyline. It's just, they're not talking about it right now. And nothing's going to go left untold. They're not going to leave anything unanswered. Everything will get answered at one point. Everything will come to an end at some point with the movies. It just has to. And I believe Josh Dahlberg, Pete Goldfinger, they know what they're going to do. They have an idea. I know they have an idea. I trust that they know what they're going to do with this film. Now, Spiral, I know a lot of people didn't like Spiral. I personally enjoyed Spiral. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I loved Chris Rock's comedy throughout the entire movie. I thought it was fucking hilarious. You know, some people didn't think it was very hilarious, but just everybody has their own taste in comedy. You know, some people get offended really easily. Some people just don't have that type of sense of humor, honestly, and which is okay. It's okay to not have that sense of humor, but you know, sometimes you can't always judge. You know, especially with Chris Rock, because when I heard about that Chris Rock, slap with Will Smith, I thought that was fucking ridiculous. You know, you can't go up on stage and slap somebody because they used words. You know, if he really got offended by that, which for what it looks like he he laughed about the joke, but then he saw that Jada didn't like it very much, so he went up there and slapped him. Now, let's say if he really didn't like the joke, he could have waited till after the show to do something about it and talk to Chris. Not hit him, but talk to him. Be like, hey, I don't appreciate that joke you made. I would appreciate if you would apologize to my wife. And it would all go from there. But everybody should know, Jada is very manipulative. And there's a lot of people out there that say, no, like he's good for what he did, slapping him. I'm like, no. You don't go and assault somebody like that, because Chris Rock didn't press charges. He could have sued him for a lot of money, but he didn't. And all that happened was the Oscars banned Will Smith for 10 years, which, honestly, you should just keep him off the Oscars, period, if he's going to do that. And the Oscars are on their last leg right now. They don't have much views. But after this whole slap, they got a lot of views. But it's not going to go back up, the next Oscars that's going to happen, because Will Smith is not going to be there. Chris Rock might be there, but not Will Smith. They're not going to talk about it on the Oscars. But like a day or two after that whole thing happened, Will Smith finally apologized to Chris Rock, but that's only because all the heat that him and his family were given because of the whole thing. That's the only reason he apologized. He's apologizing because he doesn't want the heat on his family and him. And if he was really sorry, he would have done it, to Chris Rock himself, talked to him himself. But no, he apologized for making a scene during the Oscars, but he didn't apologize to Chris Rock for what he did. That was just completely ridiculous. And a lot of actors agree what he did was wrong. Jim Carrey, Terry Crews, they agree that what he did was completely wrong. You don't go and assault somebody like that. He needs to get his anger under control, or, he needs to just separate from Jada, because she is very, very manipulative. Now, that's enough about them. That's enough about them, because I'm going to start getting all, into this, but that's enough about Jada and Will Smith. Let's get back into Spiral. Now, the third thing that could very possibly connect Logan and William is the factory. The factory, I know that, it was used for a lot of the movie. They did the same thing with Jigsaw, where they filmed, Eleanor's lair in the same factory area. It's all connected in there. And the only reason they do that is because it's such a huge place. There's plenty of things, to film with there. And it's perfect, honestly. They're smart for what they did with that. But here's why it could connect them. They all use that factory. Maybe there's something special about it. Maybe something will happen soon, to kind of show the connection between them. But, that was the same factory from the beginning of Jigsaw. And it's the same factory with Spiral. With the whole, abandoned soap factory where Sam Jackson gets fucking shot down. I thought that death was pretty brutal, but I thought it was pretty clever what they did with the whole, pulling him up like a puppet. Which I thought that's what they were doing before, because it looked like he was strung up like a puppet in the official trailer that they released. And sure enough, that's what happened. I just didn't know about the draining blood. I couldn't really tell. The picture was the video was a little weird, but that's what I think could also connect them. But, till then, we're just going to have to see. I'm not too sure, Another thing that could connect them is, the pig mask. As you can see in one of the behind the scenes photos, you can see there's a pig mask in William's lair inside the factory, which, the pig mask is the same pig mask from all the other films. You can see the exact same resemblance, and keep in mind, the way, Logan could probably get that puppet, the Billy the puppet that we saw in the deleted scene, is the barn. The barn looked like it probably still had the puppet there. Maybe it was old, but the puppet very possibly could have been there. Or maybe John Kramer took it out, put it somewhere where, Logan... There's definitely more than one area of where, different stuff related to John Kramer could be. Different factories, different warehouses, abandoned ones, that belonged to John Kramer, where some of his other stuff have, could be. I personally don't believe that Mark Hoffman blew up every single thing, and maybe Mark Hoffman really didn't know about everything about, John Kramer, which he really didn't. Maybe he didn't know about any other, like, warehouses, but, he did know about, different locations, like the nerve gas house, the bathroom, everything that's connecting those, those two buildings, and, that's what I think could happen is, he still has that puppet. The other puppets could be very well gone. There's no more of them, but maybe the light up eyes puppet, Billy, with the, red eyes, big red eyes. There still could be some of those. When he left them all for Logan, maybe Dr. Gordon, if they're going to bring him back, that'd be awesome, but who knows? And a lot of people still ask, Mark Hoffman, is he alive? And here's the thing, I don't know. I really don't know. Honestly, my personal opinion, I think he is very much dead. And if they decided to bring him back, cool, awesome. I'll watch it. I'll still watch it. I will, no matter how bad the Saw film is, I will always watch it because I am a true Saw fan. I love Saw. From the bottom of my heart, I love Saw. So that's something that, I really can't answer that if he's alive or not. I'm not too sure. He could be alive, very much so. Yeah, he could very good be alive. Very well could be alive. The toilet seat, broken toilet seat, do what, Eric Matthews did. Because keep in mind, Mark Hoffman was the one that dragged Eric Matthews' body into that cell. So, he could have seen, like, what he did, how he did, what he did to break out. And it was pretty obvious that, he did something, he fucked up his foot, to break out of that shackle with, without slicing the entire thing off. Which, yeah, so I think that's how he could break out. Or maybe he just starves to death, and gets really dehydrated and just dies. That's how it could happen. And now I will get into a deleted scene from Jigsaw that could connect that maybe there's another apprentice that we don't know about, or it's one that we already know about that's just, it's hidden for now, and it's going to be brought up, soon. So, if you remember the scene in Jigsaw where they go to investigate the body, in front of the precinct that was obviously thrown off the roof, that Logan Nelson, tried putting the blame on Edgar Munson, and Halloran said, I went to go check on him. He's still there. And that's where I'm like, maybe there's another apprentice that we don't know about that could have pushed that body off. Because keep in mind, Logan couldn't have done that. He had, he would have had to, like, be able to, like, get through some other security cameras to delete all that footage or make sure the cameras don't go on to make that happen. Now, maybe Dr. Gordon, Logan know each other, Dr. Gordon pushes the body off, the building, but at the same time, Dr. Gordon couldn't have gotten, any type of access through that precinct, but, William Shank, on the other hand, he probably could have, but at the same time, he had just been, he could have been a cop at the time at that precinct, but I mean, who knows? We don't know yet. But if because if you remember from Spiral that, he was at the top of his academy, he's becoming a detective. But there is a scene, I guess, that got deleted in Spiral where it shows William Shank in a police officer uniform. So possibly, very possibly, he is the one that put the body off the building. So, I mean, because the body just does not, like, get there by itself, Somebody has to put it there. Somebody had it thrown off. Maybe, there was something that was, I don't know, something up there, little contraption that at a certain point of time, it pushes the body off. I mean, I don't think Logan would have done that. It would have been just too much work. And there's no way he could have gotten through with all the security cameras. Like, I mean, it's really difficult to explain. Just like in Spiral with how Peter Dunleavy's login was on that computer as well. But, we'll see. Everything is going to come on. Everything is going to become answered at some point. Nothing is going to be left unanswered. Maybe a couple things, but most things will be answered. And you just got to have faith. You got to have faith in the franchise. You got to have faith in Josh Stolberg. And you got to have faith in Pete Goldfinger. And I do hope Darren Bousman comes back because I love his directing. I really appreciate him as a director. I think he does a great job. I think Josh does a great job. And I think Pete does a great job. You know, bring everybody that back. You know, just it'd be amazing. You know, definitely bring Tobin Bell back. Never never reboot the franchise. That would be rebooted movies are never gonna be good. Like maybe it was actually good. The rebooted first one that was good. Chapter 2 that was horrible. I thought Chapter 2 was really shitty. But you know, franchises like Saw, they're just not meant to be rebooted. You know, they're really not. And just like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, they tried the reboot and it didn't work out. Especially Nightmare on Elm Street. That was just very disappointing. Very, very, very disappointing. So I don't believe that they're gonna reboot the franchise, and that's what a lot of people thought that the Organ Donor slash Spiral was gonna be. They thought it was gonna be a reboot from the entire franchise. But what people don't understand is like, there's a lot of things that are pointing to that this is not a reboot. And even Josh said himself. I even had a video stating that he said himself, this is not a reboot. It is canon. All the movies exist in this exact same timeline. They all exist in the same universe, but it takes place at a different time, you know? And that's what a lot of people just don't understand. People want to believe that this is a reboot, but it's not. So, don't worry. Not a reboot, guys. So this is going to be the end of the video, but I want to get into really quick with my film, Saw Lost Games. It is still going to happen. It is taking a lot of work to happen just because it's a fan film series. It's going to take a lot of work to be, putting all the props in, getting the actors. I mean, the script is pretty much written. Script is done, perfect. I think it's going to be, good. I think you guys will enjoy what I have to offer. And here's the thing with the film. It's gonna take place, in the whole Saw universe. And I can't say myself that yes, it does. It's part of the whole universe, but it's a fan film, just like, the other Saw fan films out there, and we can't, say like, yeah, it does. It officially does. It officially is in the whole universe, but it really is not. Like, it's connected. That's what the film's supposed to be, is that it's connected to all that stuff, and I think you guys will like what I have to offer. I truly believe you guys will like what I have to offer. And yeah, so I mean, it's not going to be coming till I don't have a date on when it's going to come. But that's the problem, because it's a fan film series and there's a lot to film. There's a lot to be done. Now, I already have some people that are helping me out with the film that are going to be helping me work out with the music of the film. The writing, I already did all the writing. Somebody's going to help me with the directing. And it's all going to be running smooth. There's going to always be, things that are blocking my way that I need to, that I'm going to have to fix. But I mean, that's the thing. That's why I'm taking so much time to do this film. I don't want to rush into it because, who wants to do that to their film? Nobody wants to rush into their film just to, get it done and over with. Like, no, I want to make a good Saw film like I've always wanted to do. And that's it, and people will be like, oh, you said it was going to be this day. I'm like, well, would you rather a really shitty Saw fan film, or would you rather actually pretty damn good film that you can sit down and watch, enjoy, maybe even rewatch in the future? You got to choose your battles wisely, honestly. Just choose them wisely. And a lot of people would probably choose, take your time, make sure the film's good, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Now, soon I will be releasing the storyline, kind of like concept of what's gonna happen in the film and what it's gonna be about, without any spoilers, because I'm not gonna reveal anything. People have asked before, who's the killer, what's gonna happen. I'm like, I'm not gonna say. I've said before to somebody, I will say the killer is very similar to John Kramer. I mean, that's my way of just not spoiling it. But I do appreciate all the support and all the questions out there. I love all the questions that you guys give. I may not respond as quick. That's because I am very busy, either doing stuff with the film or doing some other stuff with work. But eventually I do get to it. I will get to it, and I don't want you guys to think that, you guys are being annoying. I want you guys to believe that what you guys, you're giving me all these questions, and I love it. I really love the questions, and I love the support, and I love the fans. So don't ever think that, you guys are being a burden or you guys are being annoying, because you guys are wonderful, and I appreciate everything you guys do for my channel every single day. But that is going to be the end of the video, guys. So hope you guys like. I hope you guys subscribe. share this video, put your ringer on, so whenever any other video comes out, you get to see it right away. So peace out, guys.